Welcome to Hello Port Hueneme. I'm your host, Tom Dunn, and today we're doing another episode of Citizens Forum with City Manager Rod.
Hello. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you again. And can we get rid of the new City Manager title yet? I noticed.
Yeah, well, I will hit 6 months on June 5th, believe it or not, surviving my first half year. So I guess after June 5th, we will no longer say new.
Wow. I've been in here for a couple city council meetings since all of these pictures are up here.
Oh, yeah.
Would you explain to our viewers as to what this is, and Dan will pan and show the people what some really talented people in the Hueneme Elementary School District.
Right, yeah, so every year, the Hueneme Elementary School District, which does include, I remembered, junior high school, so it's elementary, and then we have our 2 junior high schools. Students from all the grade levels can participate in this art contest. And all around the council chambers here, we have posted the entries from the students that have participated in the art contest, all the way from the lower elementary grades up to junior high school. And it's really pretty amazing what, I'm not a very artistic person in terms of my own gifts, so it's amazing to me what they're able to put together, and just the quality of the stuff and the range of stuff from the students of all ages in the district. So we appreciate, the school district's willingness to kind of turn our council chambers into an art gallery every year for this
Well,
competition.
I have about the same talent level you do, if not less. And, they had this up last year. I don't know how many years they've done it. Not too many, I don't think. And you weren't here either. When it's up for a month, I think is about what it does.
Right.
When they take it down, it looks so bare in here.
Yeah, I can imagine that would.
I would like for you, me, or both, or whatever, talk to Christine Walker. She's the relatively new, it's getting close to a year or two. My God, time flies. You're here 6 months already. Talk to her about maybe once a quarter or something, a different idea of the students doing stuff that can be displayed here in some other forms, because everybody in the school district is not artistically inclined, as you and I probably proved in our elementary school when we were doing that. So that's something that really, you're right, it just decorates the place up so
Very
much,
nice.
so much. Okay, Rod and I are going to talk about updating some items that have been in progress for a couple months. We've already solved a couple of the issues, and which went at a much faster pace than they used to, so I'm real happy about that. We had mentioned in our previous shows the community garden.
Right.
And you said that the city was going to, pick out a plot, let this private citizens take it over, and but I understand that there is a new person that you guys have hired that is going to work as a liaison. Can you explain that, as how that's going to work, and that'll be the next step in making this come true?
Yeah, so 2 longtime city employees who are in the recreation division, Matt Bender and Debbie Young, are going to be retiring in the next 30 to 60 days. We took a look at the recreation division and kind of restructured that so that we will replace the 2 full-time positions with 1 full-time and 1 part-time position. And this new full-time position, we hope will be a person with a strong recreation background, but who can also work on what I would call community
development.
Yeah, community development or community services projects. And I think the potential community garden is one of those projects that this person could be assigned to. So I've already had a quick conversation with Carmen Nichols, our deputy city manager, who will be the direct supervisor of this new person, and suggested that this would be a good project for that new person to be tasked with, and to at least evaluate, is there a good space for it, and then do we have the committed volunteer core that I think will be necessary to make it work. Because we don't want to get it off the ground and then have it kind of flounder for lack of some committed people, so.
Well, what I will do is, well, I'll say it right here, is we already know a couple people that are interested in that, and I would like for them to email you just with their name and phone number, so we could start a list of people that are really interested in this, and I will do it out on all the social media and next door and stuff that I do, asking people again to just email in their name and phone number that are interested in the community development. The next thing is the beach bathrooms, and we had, it was the last city council meeting, we had a presentation here, and the Public Works Department put up some slides of the smaller bathroom at the end of Ventura Road at the beach that they have cleaned up. Why don't you tell everybody what they did there?
Sure. So the new Public Works Director, Don Villafana, and then his staff focused, we did what we would call a minor rehab. So we weren't tearing down walls and putting in entirely new plumbing and that kind of stuff, but we did a rehab on the smaller restroom that's right there at the end of Ventura Road.
Where the flags are. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, they did everything from, real thorough cleanup to painting to installing some new fencing in one of the areas.
To keep people from climbing over the wall. Yeah.
Exactly. And they did some minor plumbing rehabs in there as well. So it looks a lot better that we sent the council, and at the city council meeting, we had some photos, before and after shots of,
Well, they patched the floor too.
Exactly.
Which looked nice, and I went in there and looked at it, and compared to the main restroom, the toilet and the sink looked really, really nice, considering how long it's been there.
Sure.
So that was really nice.
Yeah. And then, I don't know if you know this, although I can have some breaking news here.
Okay.
On Hello Park Hueneme, but just today, Don and his staff, in fact, they took most of the landscaping crew and most of the facilities crew from Public Works, did I'll call it a deep cleaning on the larger restroom.
Oh.
So not as much as, painting and plumbing and rehab and that, but they just took the crews there and did a very thorough cleaning in advance of the Memorial Day weekend, which is coming up here, depending on when people are watching this. But as we videotape, we've got Memorial Day coming up, and he wanted to really get it spruced up for that weekend. So again, we saw some before and after pictures that he shared with me this afternoon, and a big improvement.
Well, whenever something like that occurs again, let me know. I've found another cameraman. We're getting busy, and we need, and I could get him to come out with me and just videotape it and watch the work. And let's go to another thing close by is as we mentioned, I can't remember if we mentioned it last time or in our meeting later, that Buster the Goose was run over at the curve that we have been talking about down by Surfside 2 and 3. And there's a crosswalk there.
Yeah.
And we had mentioned it needed to be upgraded safety-wise. And I met and interviewed Don Villafana about that, and he said, we've got these signs and stuff we think are ready to go. He had a meeting a couple days after that with some of the citizens, and first day, I think it was Sunday or Monday of this week, I went by there, and there are bright yellow signs saying 20 miles an hour, red flags, 2 or 3 of them before you get there. That is really going to slow traffic down there and make it a lot safer for people and for the ducks and the goose. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. And it'll be really interesting to see if it works. I had 2 suggestions come from other people. One is that coming back the other way, there is a nice sign down the road, maybe 100 yards away, and then there's a sign that just says 20 miles an hour. If you could put 2 more red flags up there, it would make both ends match. And actually, coming from Wainimi Road is even more dangerous than coming down Surfside, because it's a sharper turn, and at night it's dark there.
Yeah.
And so that would be something I'd like for you to pass on to Don, and shouldn't cost more than a few dollars to get 2 more flags
Right.
and put them up there. And the other suggestion was, if there could be somebody from the Public Works, once or twice or 3 times over the next couple of weeks, just spend a little time monitoring what the traffic looks like coming through there. Because if all that stuff is up and people still whizzing by, we
Yeah.
haven't accomplished anything.
Right.
And it wouldn't take too long. And somebody said, oh, well, you could have the police there. Well, no, you wouldn't, because that would slow everybody down. You know, we're not stupid, at least most of us. So
Right.
that would work. So that's an idea, 2 ideas that I think would finalize it, and people
Yeah.
would be really thrilled.
Now, are these is he talking about the units that are owned by the
Yes,
city within
yes.
the hideaway?
Right.
Yeah, so one of the things that's actually on my goals list from the city council, and is in the strategic action
Yeah.
plan, is for us to look at all of I think it's like 36 units total in different parts of the city, residential units that the city owns. Some are like, duplexes, triplexes. We actually own 9 units, 9 condos within the nice new hideaway condo community. That was a deal that was done with the developer who built the hideaway condos. So we're looking at would it make sense for the city to basically get out of the residential rental business and sell those as a package of 36 units to a private owner. The advantage of that would be it would take a major responsibility off of the city staff, because currently we're basically like our own little property management company, collecting rents.
That's
and
another full-time
doing
job.
Yeah. It would also generate, obviously, some money for the city in 2 different ways. The sale of the units would generate, a one-time cash windfall. But then those units also would all go onto the property tax rolls now, where they're not
Which
now.
they're-
So, yeah, we would get an ongoing annual property tax revenue to the city's general fund, because a private owner would have those now. But we do have folks from the private real estate world that are interested in these units. I know the council's very concerned to make sure that the people who are in those units now are treated fairly in the process. In other words, we don't want, Baron von whoever coming in, billionaire absentee landlord coming in, buying these from the city, and then immediately jacking up the rents 50% overnight. I think the council wants to make sure, if we're gonna go down this road, that our current tenants are treated fairly. So those are all the things that we're looking at, and I think it's definitely, like I say, it's worth looking into because of the potential financial benefit from the sale, plus that ongoing property tax revenue, plus the fact that we're not really designed to be a property management company, especially a city of our size. So we'll look at it. I'd say this summer to early fall, we should be ready to make a recommendation to the council on which way to go.
Mentioned at the last time we met that it had been reported that there is some occasional speeding out of the port, cars and big trucks. And I think you were going to mention that to both the police department and the public works. Was there anything get started on that?
Yeah, I did follow up on that after our last conversation, and the Chief Salinas did say that they would, that area will be on their radar, both,
Figuratively and
literally,
really.
yeah. Because we're trying, we don't have a dedicated traffic unit, but we do have the ability sometimes to deploy an officer to do enforcement in a specific area where we have problems. So, I try not to get all the information so I can, I don't, blurb or blab, something that I shouldn't. But I know that they will be following up in that area, as well as this area right out in front of us here on Ventura Road.
I was going to bring that up, yeah.
It's, can be a little drag strip sometimes. And it's just a matter of that enforcement, hopefully a higher profile of enforcement, changing people's behavior. And, you know, I think I mentioned before, long-term, if we get to a point where we can allocate more dollars to our police department, I think one of the first things that the chief would like to do is to have a dedicated traffic officer, whether that's a motorcycle officer or someone in a regular patrol sedan, but someone really dedicated to traffic enforcement of all kinds, because it does seem to be a concern that comes up as we talk to residents.
Rod, thank you very much.
All right.
I think we got a lot of information to the people, and make sure if you have any questions or suggestions, email Rod, and we look forward to hearing from you, and hope to see you on our next Citizens Forum.